It's the Carolina Weather Group, live. It's Wednesday, November the 1st, 2023. James Brierton in Charlotte, Scotty Powell in Myrtle Beach, and welcome to this live streaming episode of the Carolina Weather Group on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, the platform and the artist formerly known as Twitter, or wherever you listen to audio podcasts. Coming up this week, we're chatting with you live again. It's another episode of Shooting the Breeze. So join us in those live comments if you're with us on this Wednesday night. We're also going to reveal the winner of our Carolina Weather Group Superfan Swag Bag.
Ooh.
I'm most excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm sipping on some hot apple cider. What about you, James?
I have hot chocolate. I don't know why I said apple. But I do have this very retro Carolina Weather Group mug.
Well, I'm supporting our friends from the gingerbread competition in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, we went to Asheville this past weekend. It was just lovely.
Yeah, any leaves still on the trees?
Yes, matter of fact, let me go to some of the photos we got. My wife and I had a baby moon, because we've got baby Brierton number 2 on the way. And we thought we would sneak away. And where are my pictures? Here they are. So, yeah, here we go. Take a look at this. This is up on the Blue Ridge. We went to the State Botanical Gardens. We went to Biltmore. You know, they're a little past peak. This is no filter. I'm sure I could crank up the saturation and pretend, but it was still beautiful to be out there. It still
pops. I mean,
yeah,
the color pops. So yeah,
it was quite lovely.
Was the parkway crowded?
It was not terrible. So we got on south of Asheville by the Botanical Gardens, and I think that maybe was a great spot for us because we could get to an overlook. But we typically go towards like the Boone and the Blowing Rock area. We do the viaduct, and that's always just like a parking lot. But we had lovely tea and coffee in downtown Asheville. There's a bus there, double D, double decker bus.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
and this was the table, and it looked staged, but the way the leaves had fallen was just how they came off the tree. It was really nice.
Asheville is such a very unique place. You know, it's a good food town, good sightseeing town.
Yeah.
Much love to Asheville. Cheers.
Yeah, and I always forgot they've got the whole little weather metroplex there. We walked right out of downtown and came right up on the NOAA office and the 14th Weather Squadron and our friends at the Climate Institute. So I was like, oh, here they are. Oh, yes. Thank you for a lovely weekend, Asheville.
So if you've watched our show any length of time, some of our guests from NOAA, the actual guy that I go through, John Leslie, works in that building. So John normally sends us some cool images and some up-to-date information as well. So, yeah, that's where he's stationed at.
This was a cool sign that was right outside. I think like a place where you could rent stuff to go hiking and outdoor stuff, and they had the fall leaf forecast by elevation and by week.
That's pretty cool.
So now that we're into early November, everybody, we're down to Lake Lure and below 2,000 feet. So if you're still looking to get away, you can still do it. I'd love to see in the comments right now where people like to go for their fall getaways.
How's the color looking in Charlotte?
You know, we got back. It looked almost fairly consistent. Driving back down, some of the trees are still got color. Some of them are getting to fall off. But we got to talk about this temperature drop because we were in Asheville this past weekend, Scotty, and it was 70, 75 degrees. 84 degrees in Charlotte on Monday, tying the record. And then we just went, woo.
Yeah.
The sound of us dropping 50 degrees, I think.
You're exactly right. Sunday here in Myrtle Beach, we set a record or tied a record of 82 degrees. Woo. Currently, we are setting at 42. Was that 20, 48? about a 60-hour time frame of temperatures dropping tomorrow morning. Expected to be right above freezing in Myrtle Beach proper, but you go just out into Conway, back up into Florence, you're going to see temperatures at or below freezing. And would not be surprised, James, like Sherrod, then up into your area.
Yeah.
See some 20s on the map.
We got freeze warnings now for the third morning in a row as we look ahead to Thursday morning. And we've got most of the Carolinas on this Wednesday night painted in what is color-coded purple here. But notice that the mountains are no longer under that freeze warning because a reminder, everybody, freeze warnings and freeze watches, we only get them in those transitional periods in late autumn and early spring as the growing season is ending or starting. Once those plants are done, then the freeze warnings and the freeze watches go away. Otherwise, the Weather Service would be issuing them every night throughout winter. So you can already see the mountains seem to have disqualified themselves from further freeze warnings. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of the last of it now as we make that full transition into these colder November mornings.
Yeah, it's really unique to see the differences in the temperature. I'm going to pull up our 7-day forecast. And if you don't like the cold weather, the saying here in the Carolinas, just stick around.
Just wait a day.
And wait a day. And you can see we will go from
there you are.
32 degrees tomorrow morning. And you look all the way to, well, even Monday, we're back to 76, 78, and then
that's an 80.
Yeah, potentially 80 degrees by Wednesday. So quite the spread. I told everyone today, hey, I've got everybody's type of weather in there. If you want wintertime, you've got the cold. If you want fall/spring, you've got 50s and 60s. And then by the end of next week, you got your 80s back to like summertime feel. So what we don't have in that forecast, James, you don't either, rain. And we need some.
Well, if I understand our winter weather outlook, which we talked about last week right here on the Carolina Weather Group, we're going to have plenty of moisture come winter months. Plenty of probably really cold rain. Hopefully not a lot of ice and maybe just the right amount of snow. But yes, the drought continues. We will get an update on the U.S. Drought Monitor on Thursday, and I think things are only going to get worse for another yet week in a row here as that trend continues now into November. I mean, I guess, Scotty, the good news is that most of the growing season is done. There's still some need out there, right, for agricultural water and the like, but the rivers and the lakes are so low. When we came back from Asheville, we crossed over 85 from Gaston into Mecklenburg County there at the Catawba River, which is controlled by Duke Energy, but the boats that people have in their backyard or their backyard dots were just sitting on mud.
Yeah. It's crazy to think, how quickly you go from 2 to 4 weeks without rain, just how much difference you can kind of see in the lake levels.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Here at the beach, we're below normal for rainfall anyway. And then you think of the fire danger, which we had our fire danger statement out today. In fact, there's a burn ban in Horry County for the unincorporated areas that started today. No burning or anything like that. We had some gusty winds, saying low humidity values, but it's just been so dry.
And that applies to fall leaves.
Yeah, and I was gonna say you got the fall foliage and the dry and dead leaves, just really just that fuel that a fire would need to quickly spread. So we always have a fall fire season, and hopefully it won't be too bad, but we really could use some rain soon, and I think everybody would be okay with a rainy day.
Well, I will say this. I'm gearing up for the change of time coming up in the next week here, right? Those earlier sunsets. And yesterday, which was Tuesday, we just had clouds throughout much of the day, as we did kind of on Halloween. And, man, it just really messed with my time perception. And I was like, oh, this only gets worse in winter.
Yeah.
Not being able to see the sun.
Yeah. today that was one of my explainers I did, is just the loss of daylight. Time goes back on Saturday into Sunday,
Why?
so you
Why?
get to add an hour, I guess, of sleep if you look at it that way. To me, I'm just like, I don't really tell any difference. But you'll start to see the sun setting more around like 5:15, 5:20, and then by December, early December, your sunsets are like 5:05. It's
I know.
super early, and the sun doesn't come up till 7:15, 7:20 in the morning. So it just really makes it kind of, just kind of gloomy out there. Even if you have a lot of sunshine, if you work a regular 8 to 5 job, you don't hardly ever get to see the sun unless you take a break outside.
Which I am known for doing, by the way.
Me
He's
too.
in the parking lot again, guys. All right. It's like a flower. Hey, here's a little perspective for you on these cold temperatures, because I know it feels cold out there, especially compared to where we were last weekend. But don't forget, as we head towards the end of the year, we've been breaking records all year long for warmth, for heat, and we are still trending up overall. Yes, it gets cold. Yes, it is currently cold outside, but take a look. This is Brad Panovich's Charlotte area map, and it's very similar for other regions. You can just see how much red there is and that daily average temperature departure from normal. Again, this is equalized when you look at what is normal for each day, whether we are plus or minus where we are quote unquote supposed to be. Whoo! End of the year, guys, is not going to be. It's going to be Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and poof, climate change.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see as we get into this El Nino setup for the wintertime. Normally, typically means wetter, but also kind of like warmer than normal. But anytime you get those fronts to move through, you seem to get those cool spells, kind of like this cool spell we've got now. Yesterday night into tomorrow morning, you see temperatures that are really cold. Like today, we didn't get out of the 50s, but they're kind of short-lived. You just saw the 7-day forecast. By the weekend, we're back to 70. So thankfully, it's no prolonged cold spell.
Yeah, well, get the cold winter coats out and keep them out, because it only gets colder from here.
Is that an 18 in Boone?
No, okay. Oh yeah, 18 in Boone. No. These are air temperatures. This is the minimum forecast values for this Wednesday. Yeah, 18 in Boone. Here are the wind chills. 8 in Boone. Does that make you feel better?
That's cold.
It's 40 at Hatteras. So.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Well, in just a moment, we are going to name the winner of our Carolina Weather Group Patreon Superfan contest. But first, a reminder that you can join Scotty and I for a good cause coming up later this month. Please save the date for Saturday, November 18th, from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, as the Carolina Weather Group Weather Brains, Stormfront Freaks, and Chaser Chat get together for a 12-hour-long weather telethon to support the American Red Cross. You can watch it streaming right here on the Carolina Weather Group YouTube channel and Facebook and Twitter. And if you like our show, it's like that, but 12 hours long.
Could you put up with enough weather for 12 hours?
I think it's going to be great. I'm going to be in this chair for 12 hours, all for a good cause. So please mark your calendars. You're not going to want to miss it. We've got some big names RSVP'd, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a good time and for a good cause. So, like we talked about last week, American Red Cross, obviously very beneficial for natural disasters and those cleanup efforts and really helping people out from hurricanes and tornadoes. But they also help out in everyday life, with the blood drives. And unfortunately, if a neighbor loses a house in a fire, they help put families up until they can find some place to stay. So they all do such a great job.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast, and we hope you will join us. I'm hoping people just put it on their YouTube, on their smart TV, and just put it on in the background. And you don't need college football that day, guys. You can watch this instead. Well,
get ready for Thanksgiving week by just popping us on the TV and maybe putting those pumpkin pies in the oven.
Well, it's time to do a little cleaning on James's desk because every week I'm holding up this same tumbler and this same hat that says Carolina Weather Group, and it's time to decide which one of our Patreon fans is going to win a box of swag. Are you ready, Scotty?
I'm ready.
All right. Scotty asked me if we were going to do this live, and I said, no. And here we are. We're going to do it live. So I've put the names of our Patreon fans into a random name generator. And in just a moment, we're going to shuffle these names, and we're going to find out who is winning. But, of course, I want to say special thanks to all of our Patreon fans for supporting us at $1 or maybe $3.99 a month just to help Scotty and I and the rest of the Carolina Weather Group pay our bills. This is just simply to be even at the end of the month to keep operations going. So are you ready, Scotty?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Steve Holmes, you are Carolina Weather Group super fan. Thanks for being a supporter on Patreon. And look for an email from me so that I can figure out how to get these goodies to you just in time for the holiday season.
Congratulations, Steve. And if you do the social medias, we want to see a picture with you with the hat on.
We would love a selfie.
Tumbler. Yes.
We would love it. By the way, this is a one-of-one tumbler. I'm not saying I'm never going to order more, but I have yet to order any more. So Steve will be the only one with a tumbler. I don't have a tumbler. Scotty doesn't have a tumbler. No. And I think it's an actual tumbler. Like, I know I'm saying a name brand. Pretty sure it's an actual tumbler. Don't quote me on that, Steve, but pretty sure.
And if you want to, James can autograph the outside package of it.
I haven't even opened them. They're completely unopened. If you would like to grab your own swag, and maybe you're not Steve, you can head on over to the Carolina Weather Group merch store to buy your own hats, mugs, shirts. Help support our show. Great for the holiday season. And we thank everyone for their continued support. We know money is not free. And so every little bit does help us, again, just kind of literally keep the lights on. And we thank you all for your continued support.
Yes, we definitely couldn't do it without you. So we appreciate all of our friends and fans who watch us and are able to support us.
Well, Scotty, I think that might be our show for this week.
That sounds good to me. I'm going to go bundle up and cuddle up from the cold.
Oh, cuddle? With the dog?
Yeah, she's over here in her bed right now. She's ready. Come here, Lola. Come here. Come here. I'll show you all to everybody. Here she is. She's ready.
Hi.
Say hello.
Say hello.
Say hello.
Oh, it's worth a try. I see some of you are scanning the QR code. We appreciate your support. And by the way, if there's a piece of merch you'd like and you don't see it in the store, drop us a comment and I'll see if we can get it. We're open to ideas. We're open to your feedback. We want to make this as fun for you as it is for us.
Yes.
Scotty, it was good to see you again.
Good seeing you, my friend.
And we'll see everybody next time for more from the Carolina Weather Group. Have a good night.
Congrats, Steve.
Woo!